They came from Lahore and Karachi. My entire family was born there except for my mother.
गाइज आप लोग प्लीज आज बने रहिए बिकॉज आज हमारे साथ आने वाली है द जर्नी में वेरी अमेजिंग Ameesha Patel. Ameesha Patel is going to be here with us right now. Fantastic. Hi Ameesha ji, how are you?
Are we there?
Yes, we are.
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon.
Ameesha ji, welcome to Chingari family. Welcome to the Chingari world. And my name is Praveer and we are so happy to have you here. And congratulations first of all with your upcoming release Gadar 2, which we cannot wait. How are you feeling? What are your feelings before the release of the film? Tell me everything about it.
Well, excited to be Sakina and be with my Tara Singh all over again after 22 years, to come to see our favorite audiences, for them to have the viewing pleasure of seeing the next chapter in Tara and Sakina's life. And of course, butterflies in the stomach, huge expectations riding on us, huge audiences buying advance tickets and raring to go, excited to reach the theatres to watch the film. So really hope that we give them a pleasurable viewing experience, you know.
I think it is already, I think the movie is already kind of showing a lot of positive response from the people, because I think the first day collection of the advance booking crossed like 45,000, 50,000 on the first day, which is I think great. I mean, it's already a positive sign for the film even before its release.
Touch wood, the advances have been mind-blowing, so much so that the film industry is in absolute shock. And you know, I think Gadar 2 was a film that was an underdog when it came the first time round, and this time too it's been an underdog because people have really wondered whether, you know, we live up to the expectations and the hype. But like I said, you know, Janta is the king, content is the king, and the audience is our real you know, supporters, and thanks to them that they made Gadar 1 from it being written off when it was announced to now again with Gadar 2, you know, endorsing the fact that Gadar is Gadar and the Janta is with us. And I want to thank my fans for this, because you all have been the heartiest, the best supporters for this franchise, for Sunny Deol and me, and Tara Singh and Sakina. Love you all, and thank you for making it possible for Gadar 2 to see the light of day.
Fantastic. Ameesha, I have to tell you, and I'm sure you realize the fact that there are going to be, I think, 3 generations who are going to be watching this movie together now, because there is one generation who watched that movie, and I think उनके बच्चों ने भी उसके बाद over the years ये फिल्म देखी होगी, and उनके बच्चे शायद इस फिल्म को देखने जाएंगे थिएटर्स में. How does it feel? और ये बहुत कम होता है, right? किसी एक फिल्म के साथ, किसी एक ब्रांड ऑफ फिल्म के साथ. How does that feel कि इतने सारे लोग, generations are going to watch this film together now?
You know, to begin with, let me tell you, Gadar एक ऐसी कहानी है जो एक historic कहानी थी. I don't think there's any people in this, you know, in India, Pakistan, in our Indian subcontinent that are not connected to the story, for the reason being, हर एक के घर में एक partition की कहानी है. You know, my own maternal grandfather, my maternal side, my Nana is Sindhi. My mother is Sindhi, my father is Gujarati. They came from Lahore and Karachi. My entire family was born there except for my mother. So all my mamas were born in Lahore and Karachi, and during partition they shifted and they are misplaced, they're displaced. Sindh is in Pakistan. They don't have a country or a state that they can call their own. You know, they settled in London, they settled in Bombay, they settled in Lagos. And my father is Gujarati, so again it was an intercaste marriage. But हर एक के घर में ऐसी कहानियां पार्टीशन की है. So even if we as children were not born in that era, we've had parents or grandparents telling us of the pains that they went through. And it's a very current history. The British leaving us, they've left us with the biggest impact. Like if we remember the Mughal invasions and the impact of the Mughal invasions, and there from Aurangzeb to you know, Akbar, we remember. Then British history is very, very new. The partition is too new. India is a baby country of only 70 plus years. We're 75 years old. And so Gadar 1 hit everyone. It struck a chord in everyone's hearts. And therefore, even if you were not born when the film released, I know parents and grandparents have ensured that a generation has seen it. I mean, a film like Top Gun, which came 30 years ago, which, like you said, there were generations that haven't seen. But Maverick, when it comes 30 years later with Tom Cruise and has no historical relevance whatsoever of the year and brings back post-COVID in throngs, to cinemas, the audiences back to the cinemas. So Gadar is a relevant subject, and like I said, each family has a member that felt the heartache of partition and it has passed down for generations. So Gadar 2 has that attachment already without it being released. And that's the beauty of this film. So you don't have to have been born when it was released, but you have seen it. That's the beauty.
Right. Ameesha, also I have to ask you this one question. Do you remember the first day of the shoot at Gadar 1 and the first day of the shoot at Gadar 2?
Absolutely.
What was
the first day of my Gadar 1 shoot, I still am a baby. I was I was a college kid. What happened is during Gadar 1, I was still shooting for Kahona Pyar Hai and my other films, and none of them had released. And I was a brand new baby, straight out of college, and my first ever scene was, with Mr. Amrish Puri ji, the second half of the film, when I'm already a mother, already been almost kidnapped in Pakistan, forced to stay there. And my first scene was when Amrish ji screams and yells and says कि तुम्हें रहना पाकिस्तान में है, तुम खत भी नहीं लिख सकती. And that was the first dialogue I ever gave कि ठीक है अब्बू जान, अगर आपकी यही ख्वाहिश है तो हम खत नहीं लिखेंगे, फोन भी नहीं करेंगे, अब हम उनका इंतजार करेंगे, सिर्फ इंतजार. That was actually my first scene ever of Gadar. I began with probably the hardest part of the film for me, and not the college portions. I didn't ease into the film. And for Gadar 2, we began with the Ujja Kale Kawa, the song, wow, and went back to set, and that was a breeze because, for Sunny and me, I think when we come into Tara and Sakina, it's like Superman and Wonder Woman. Wherein, we feel like that, it's like that, like he's the Terminator and I'm the heroine, So, it was a surreal feeling. We just felt we'd stepped from set, Gadar 1 set to, Gadar 2 sets with no time lapse whatsoever. Time had stood still. And the beauty of it was when we posted pictures on social media of our Muhurrat Day, everybody thought it was the old pictures of 2001. So they started calling our producers and saying, why have your actors posted the old Gadar pictures? And they're like, no, these are the new pictures. They're like, wow, your actors look exactly like they did 20 plus years ago. In fact, even younger and even fresher. So I guess that's the magic of Tara and Sakina.
But I have to ask you this another question. My other question was that it's been 22 years, and obviously we as humans, we as people also grow, we change. What is the equation between Ameesha and Sunny Deol, or Sakina and Tara? How has the equation changed, or has it changed?
It's become more magical. I think we were always comfortable with each other. We're even more so now, and I think that chemistry shows on screen because we are both really real people in our hearts, and we've remained children. We're kids in our hearts, and there's an inherent innocence in both of us, and I think that's the innocence and the vulnerability is the likable qualities of Tara and Sakina. That Tara, even in Gadar 1, was the most sweetest, most innocent, romantic, and so was Sakina, of course, for being Sunny Deol, the powerhouse, the He-Man, the Superman, the Terminator, the Rambo, everything that he is. He's just got that vulnerability and innocence on his face because it's a reflection of what he is in his heart. And I think that's the beauty of both of us, that we've just grown, we've not allowed the world to corrupt us. We've just remained good human beings, and that our relationship and our bond has grown even stronger, and we're even more comfortable with each other now 24 years hence.
Wow.
So
And I'm like, just when you told me about the fact that you were still shooting Kaho Na Pyare at that time, it was not out yet. But when Gadar released, Kaho Na Pyare was a massive hit, and you were a superstar at that time.
Yes.
Then of course your popularity kind of it doubled. Tell me what was going on in your head? You said you were like a college girl. How did you take all this attention, all this success, all the applause? Tell me what was going on in Ameesha Patel's head at that time.
Kaho Na Pyare Hai made Hrithik and me the national and international crushes with the Indians all over the world and here in India. And it catapulted us to superstardom, on Friday. Like, it was a surreal feeling, because the funniest was Hrithik and me were watching first day, first show at a theatre in Mumbai. And at interval, Hrithik and I said, come before the interval, let's go and get a few samosas and drinks. And we were hungry, and we were just standing like two normal people at the canteen of the theatre. And interval bell rang, and the entire audience came out. We were surrounded, and we were just thronged by people wanting autographs and pictures. And from that moment on, it became impossible to be unknown entities. And we used to practice our autographs and never really knew that people would want them so badly and things like that, because Hrithik and I were both kids, growing together and doing this film together. And but of course, with Gadar came a tsunami, and I was already doing, when I was shooting for Gadar, I was already working with Salman for Ye Hai Jalwa, with Ajay Devgan for 2 films, Parwana and Zameer. I was already shooting, for Hamraz as well, which released and became a bumper hit after Gadar. I was shooting with Sanjay Dutt, and so I was working with all these actors who were super mega stars, and suddenly I'd go back on set and they would all start making fun of me. Hey, superstar heroine aagi. Like Akshay Kumar even has an interview on Lehre where he says, "Ye hamari 100 crore ki heroine hai." And I was shooting for a film called Mere Jeevan Saathi with him, and he's actually told the interviewer ki she is the one who has the hits. I hope ki hamari film ko 50 crore bhi mile iski wajah se, So it was a completely different feeling. And I remember journalists calling me and asking me that, you're the new #1, you're the country sensation, like post Gadar, how do you feel? And I was like, these numbers happen every day, every Friday there'll be a new number. So I really take it with a pinch of salt. With success comes failure, and I'm going to have to see the whole cycle going up and down. And I will hit rock bottom, I'm sure, at some point, and then I will have to climb again. So I'm going to just take it all in a constant. I'm not going to let success or failure affect me, but I will let failure teach me. I won't let success get to my head, but I will allow failure to teach me. That is most important.
Okay, I have to confess one thing, that I've also had a huge crush on you for many years, and I'm very happy that I'm here talking to you. So yes, I wanted to say that on record, on camera.
Thank you. Here's a special kiss for you, Praveer, for your crush.
You just made my day. Thank you so much, Ameesha. But okay, I have to also tell you about your role in Gadar, because I cannot imagine Sakina being anyone else, because it's just not about the way you portrayed that character. It was the little things, and I have watched that movie a lot of times. It was the way you dressed up. It was the way you carried your clothes. It was the way you walked. It was everything that made that character so authentic. And it felt like it was made for you. You were destined to play that role. And the other film that I feel that you were like destined to do, and it's one of my favorite films of yours, is Honeymoon Travels Private Limited. I think that role was such an insane role. It was such a beautifully portrayed role. I think
so. You're bang on where Honeymoon Travels is concerned, because Anurag Kashyap, the writer, only wrote it with me in mind. He said, "You are Pinky." As you can see, I'm in pink even today. The entire industry knows pink is my favorite color. And when Farhan Akhtar, very scared, like it was a very new age kind of cinema, slice of life. People hadn't, attempted that kind of cinema before. It was an awesome cast. There were no stars. There was just, there were a lot of character actors. So Farhan, when he approached me, he said, Ameesha, I know this film is not your typical, you're used to being the central character, used to being the heroine with a hero, a villain, a comedian. But this is a very different kind of film we're attempting, where there are different couples on a honeymoon, etc. And Anurag, who also used to, he said, has a huge crush on you, and has written this character of Pinky with only you in mind. Please say yes, because if you don't do the film, no one else can. So you're very right. Pinky was actually written with Ameesha Patel in mind. And Farhan narrated me the subject, and I started pulling out all these props from my bag, which were all pink. And I was like, okay, I'm going to use this. Like, little things like the pen in which Pinky is writing a letter to her friend on a honeymoon, with the pom pom on top is mine, the pink umbrellas. I added a lot of this to my own character to make it more believable and ditzy. And they were like, listen, it's a challenge because you're a very educated, intelligent, well spoken girl in real life. And you'll have to pay this little ditzy doll, this really pretty and pink kind of dumb blonde character. And I was like, getting out of your comfort zone is what's challenging. And so I actually didn't charge a fees for that film, and I just did it because I really loved the character. Because they said, listen, Ameesha, we can't afford you, and I was like, okay, listen, don't even pay me, just pay my staff, literally. I will do the film because I want to do it. It's that close a character to me.
Wow, and it's one of my favorite characters. But yes, coming back to Gadar 2, tell me something. How difficult was it for you to get back to this character again after so many years? Is there a process that you follow, or do you just follow the lead of the director, Anil Sharma? How do you get into the character of the film?
A bit of both. Actually, Sakina has lived in my blood for 24 years now. She never left me. In fact, when I finished shooting for Gadar 1 and when the film released and I used to go on other sets, I remember I was on the set with Mahesh Bhatt ji doing a film with them, and I was like, hum yahan jayenge, hum ye karenge. And Mahesh Bhatt ji just looked at me and he said, Ameesha, ye hum kya rakha hai, it's like tum and up, and what are you saying this hum? I had gone into a whole Sakina zone, which I found so difficult to break out of, because that character is my favorite character in the whole wide world. Forget in Indian cinema, she is such a beautiful, dignified character. And when Nitin Kenny of Z had first, he was the one who chose me and said, hame hamari Sakina mil gayi, without a screen test, without anything. And then to further it, Anil Sharma, he said, I said, why me? Such a difficult character, such a seasoned character. I said that, dekho, Sakina ka character jo hai, she's from a very Rais Khandan, a very political family, and she's very educated. And that's exactly who you are in real life. You're from a financially sound, well-off family. You're from a legacy. Your grandfather was whoever he was, very well-known, and you're very highly educated. You're a very Khandani girl. Little things, the elegance and all. He's saying, ये मैं एक्टर को सिखा नहीं सकता, या तो ये है एक्टर में या तो नहीं है. So I guess, like you said, these characters were made for me, and no one could have played Sakina but me. I second that completely.
I totally agree, and I have to be a little greedy, and I have to ask you, because there have been so many iconic scenes in the first one, like hand pump ukhadna and all of that. Can you give us a little spoiler regarding, are there any, इस बार सनी देओल क्या उखाड़ रहे हैं? What is he doing this time?
आपके दिल उखाड़ के छीन के ले लेंगे, बस इतना ही कह सकती हूँ मैं.
We can't wait for the film to happen, to go and watch on screen. But Ameesha, I also have to tell you one more thing. You're just talking about how you carry yourself and how you prepare for a role. But I also have to tell you that I love watching your interviews, and आपकी बातों में इतना ठहराव है. There is so much stability, and you speak so eloquently, and I love to watch your interviews. I've never seen you speak anything bad about anyone, which again is great. And you are always totally invested in any interview. Like this conversation, I for a second I've forgotten that it's Ameesha Patel, the actress. I just feel that I'm just talking to yeah, man. I mean, it's really like that. So thank you so much.
I think, Praveer, it's very important to be real. You have to realize that there is a real life, that is when you're in front of the camera, but at the end of the day, you're a normal person, and it's very important to be real. And more importantly, I don't like to bitch about anybody. I know a lot of colleagues, they talk badly about me, and whenever I've been questioned, all I say is no comment, because there is a place for everyone, and it's your own destiny. You come here, you make it. There will be certain roles that are made for you, some that won't be. So you just have to go with the flow and let life take its course. You know, you face adulation, you face the brickbats, but you have to do it. By putting someone down, it's not going to further you in any way. It really shows you as a sharp person. So that's the reason you'll never find me in any politics of any kind of government of any kind of government, because I don't believe in it.
Okay, Ameesha, I have to ask you another question. It's regarding numbers, because these days numbers are very important for a lot of people. How much do you follow numbers and collection and first day collection and second day collection and first week collection and all of that? Are you someone who is into all of that? And this is my last question to you.
Of course, I follow numbers. I'm part of the film industry. I will not lie that I don't. I follow numbers for the simple reason that I'm again one of those actors who believes that every film should do well. And I pray and wish for everyone's success, because we are a film industry. There are a lot of jobs at stake, a lot of poor people involved, theatres, from the inception of a film to when you started on a set to the time it releases. The theatre, to the popcorn seller and the samosa seller, the vendor there at the theatre, waiting for films to do well so that they can run their livelihood. So I only wish and pray for everyone's success, and that's why the numbers are important to me. And because of the hard work and money invested in films, I hope everyone gets their return. And yes, when it comes to our film, like Gadar 2, I hope the numbers Gadar macha de, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ameesha, for this conversation. Thank you so much for taking time out and really talking to us in such a genuine way. And thank you for the flying kiss as well.
That really for you and all my fans watching this. Thank you, guys. Make sure you all get your tickets August 11th. We need your support. Go and make Gadar the Gadar it deserves to become. Lots of love.
Download the Chingari app now.
Terms and conditions apply. For detailed terms and conditions, visit website www.chingari.io.